What's it like dealing with a short week? How difficult a turnaround is that?
It's. I think having done it a lot, I think I've got a pretty good, feel for what you need to do in order to get yourself ready to play. On short preparation. I think the number one thing is making sure, physically you're doing everything you can to get as fresh as you can. And we've done a great job in meetings in terms of putting things in and trying to get organized that way. But I think as players, you have to really heighten your focus on the rest and recovery and making sure your body's as good as it can be on 3 or 4 days rest.
When you've been doing something a certain way with a certain terminology for many, many years, how steep is the learning curve coming to a new organization, new terminology and everything else?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an adjustment of learning the kind of new verbiage. I liken it to when you're learning Spanish or whatever when you're in high school or in school and you know what you want to say and sometimes just can't get it out. But I feel like the coaching staff here has done a great job of helping me adjust with that. I feel like we've been pretty good the first couple of weeks, and I feel like I'm in a good space of knowing knowing the scheme and knowing the terminology and the verbiage and spitting that out pretty easily.
Fair to say you and Russell Wilson are kind of similar circumstances then, after being in a different conference with one team for a very long time, kind of the same situation.
Yeah, very similar. I played against Russ a lot in the NFC when he was with Seattle and I was with Atlanta, so had a lot of really good battles against him, some in the playoffs, and lots of great games in the regular season as well. But it's a different set of circumstances, two completely different teams coming into it. But it's always fun competing against him.
As you look at their defense, pretty nasty. Your assessment as you guys get ready to take these guys on?
Yeah, I think it is. It's a very good defense. Statistically, they've been right up in the top 5 in most categories as a defense. Through the first basically quarter of the season, and they've played well. They've got good players, in all 3 levels. Defensive line is physical, good against the run, good against the pass. They've got some talented players in the back end too. Really good corners and solid safeties, and so it presents a good challenge for us.
What's good with the tight ends in the passing game the last few weeks, especially last week?
I think our guys. I tell all our guys, at certain times the ball's going to find different players, and we're going to, be aggressive with the matchups we like. And I think those guys had favorable matchups for us and made the plays. I mean, they really did. All 3 of the guys I thought played extremely well for us. Kylan did an awesome job. Mo had a couple huge catches for us and had really good run after the catch on those. And Jelani continues to show, why we brought him here. I think he's going to be a dynamic player for the Colts for a long time.
Talk about DTA and that idea. You've seen those guys really get to that, and that allows you to get to Paris or Ashton on some of those plays.
Yeah, for sure. That's something we've talked about really, since April. Of, in the passing game, you want good decisions, you want great timing, and you want to be accurate with the football. It's a two-way street. I've got to do my part, and they've got to do theirs, and I think our guys have really taken to that. I think we're improving. We can still get a lot better, but I think we've made strides as the season's gone on. I thought Paris, did a lot of really good things for us the other day. And like I said, I just think, we have an unselfish group, and at times the ball's going to find different guys, and they've got to be ready to make the plays when it comes their way.
You hear stories all the time about getting off to a good start over and over, but playing a place like Denver, how important would that be on Thursday?
Yeah, I think it's something we haven't done particularly well, through the first 4 games of the season, and definitely a point of emphasis for us. Always you'd like to start fast, but sometimes it doesn't happen, and you got to keep rolling. You got to find ways to, to find a way to win, regardless of how the game starts. But that's been a point of emphasis for us, getting into a rhythm earlier in the game. And playing the way we're capable of right from the start.
You're probably tired of talking about it, but in offense, do you feel like you're close, or do you feel like you're far away because you keep making the same mistakes?
I think we're close. I really do. I think, I continue to go back. The good has been good, and it needs to show up more consistently. But I do think we're close, and it's when you watch the film, it's little things. It's little things here and there, and I've kind of said it. Everybody has taken their turn in that, and that's the one thing we all have to clean up is, in this league, you don't know when it's going to be the play that's going to, impact the game. And so each play, we've got to, lock in one snap at a time and be focused and make sure we're taking care of our responsibilities. But I do think it's closer than it is far.
Given your
On the
history,
takeaway turnovers, do you have to study them? Can you harp on them too much internally, or just are they situational? Is there a common thread?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to evaluate them, and you take a look at trying to find reasons why certain things have happened. And at the same time, you want to stay aggressive. You really do. And so it's the double-edged sword. It's the let's clean things up, let's be tighter with it. But we've also done a great job extending plays and making things happen, late in plays too. So I've got to do a better job in the pocket, making sure that, I'm securing it as best I can, and just protecting it as I'm going to the ground at different times. I think I can do a better job of that.
has this shocked you because you don't have a history of fumbling? Have you been as shocked as everybody else seems to be?
Yeah, I think surprised, because it hasn't been something, that historically has come up. But it has the last 4 weeks. It needs to get corrected, and I need to do a better job of it.
Big guy is supposed to be in the house, Peyton, on Thursday. I know you got a great relationship with him. Has he been able to, have you spoken to him this season for the most part, and just trying to encourage you to keep moving in the right direction?
I haven't heard from this week. Obviously, we're on a short week too, so your phone kind of goes to the side on a short week like this. But I have heard from him throughout the start of the season, and it's always cool. I played against him when he was in Denver, which was a great experience for me. But last time we were out there, when I was with the Falcons, I saw him after the game and got to see his son Marshall. So it's always cool when you get to see him.